talked about that.
Will you post it? That we're gonna, that we'll be in session at the City Hall, Public Works and Planning Committee.
Do we have to post that?
It's two of us and we're probably gonna really participate, I
We're
assume.
gonna participate, but we're not gonna vote on anything, are we?
I posted.
It doesn't hurt us,
Okay.
I don't think.
When is the meeting on Saturday?
7:30 Thursday morning. If you just contact somebody out this, you can probably see on the city website, it'll say what room it's in. That way we're
We're
covered.
covered. Okay.
Right, Jeff?
Yeah, no, and Matt was gonna cover that, so.
First Jeff City football game is Friday night
Cool.
against McClure North, which is in the Ferguson School District.
Yeah.
Is it there?
It's here. No, it's here.
I didn't see JC on the top
Are they gonna
20 most
play?
dominant teams since they've been
I don't
doing
know. That we don't know.
I
They
just
canceled
saw
school
Elias
till
and Blair
Monday
Oaks
now.
there.
Yeah, they haven't even started school
Where's
yet up
JC
there, have they?
at?
No, they were supposed to start last Thursday. They postponed it.
It's amazing he can hear what he wants to
They
hear.
announced all the way to the 25th. I heard what you're talking about.
Stir, stir,
That's your
stir.
word, yeah.
Doesn't matter.
We're on a roll.
And chamber board meeting is next Tuesday, the 26th.
Did you ever, are you gonna get us some of the
Oh,
stuff
yeah,
from the
got
last
that.
time?
Sorry, I
Sorry.
got it. I just keep forgetting.
No big deal.
Okay, first item on the agenda, accounts payable review.
I'd ask for approval of accounts payable.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries. Second reading of budget adjustment number 11. Becky, please.
This is the final reading.
$7,358.15, which is criminal asset seizure money going to the law enforcement fund. Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved. Second. So moved. Second.
What?
Okay.
You can't do both.
You have made the motion. Chris, would you second,
Second.
please? Call roll, please.
You started and stopped.
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
Lauren?
Yes, by roll call vote, that's approved. Discussion of tax levy 2014.
Meeting on a Tuesday. It's got me confused.
Okay, well, I definitely send out the information on the tax levy. You guys have to do this once a year. You set the levy for general fund and for public works. We do have the rollback for the general fund because of the EMS sales tax promise in the ballot language. So this is all the paperwork we gotta go through, the actual evaluation by the county clerk. You can see the past history of assessor's evaluation of property here in Cole County, the history of the tax levy and where we've been, from the ceiling down to what you guys actually approved. In the rollback, we have to calculate the actual first 6 months worth of sales tax from EMS, and then estimate what the rest of the year is gonna be based on that, and adjust for last year's estimate versus actual. And when you get done with the calculations for the general fund rollback, the ceiling should be 11.44 on general. And if you take it down any further than that at this point, since it's a even numbered year, it will change your ceiling forever. So going into that, we put the calculations through the state auditor's calculation for each general fund and road and bridge. Again, they say our ceiling could be 35 cents in general revenue, but we know because of the rollback calculation, we can only go to the 11.44. Now, if you guys want to take it down further than that, that's up to you. And also on road and bridge, their ceiling comes out at 27.34, because we actually have brought their ceiling down because we rolled it back in even number years. So the ceiling is 27.34. And you can pass through all of those calculations to get to that. Yeah. And then I gave you a couple what ifs. We'll just look at general fund taxes compared to last year. If we leave ours at 11.44, which you guys did reduce ours back to 0.10 last year, the difference in assuming everybody pays their taxes, nobody protests their taxes, timing of when they come in, we should gain about $200,000. Now, I wanna emphasize, there's a big if there, and if you look at the actuals down at the bottom, we don't get all that people are taxed, people protest, and you can see there was a big years back in 2009, 2010, and 2011. There was a lot of big protests. I don't know, Kristen, do you remember what companies those were?
I know there were a couple of large ones, like Lowe's, DeLong's,
I
Galactic.
can't do anything about that though.
No.
So
But
what's
I
the
want-
bottom line?
Well, there is no real way to
Sorry.
get to the bottom line, except for look at the bottom down here.
I mean, we're gonna have to, back stuff out of it, both numbers anyway, so just
Yeah.
give me the big number. And there, I had 22 pages, so I was trying to follow it on here, Debbie, I was lost.
Well, all being equal, it should be at $200,000, but there won't, I can guarantee we won't budget for that.
Right. I see what you're saying, on it.
Yeah.
And there's also a huge timing difference as to the tax levy when it's approved and when it's actually collected. So most of that revenue is going to be seen in 2015, but not all of it, just because of the timing of delinquent taxes and when they come in.
So, and then I give you another what if you actually reduce it to what it was last year, the 10.10, it would generate just 11,000. Again, everything.
As I recall, all we have to do at this point is just put notice that we're gonna have a public hearing.
Yes,
And then we actually make a decision on what to set it at.
well, but the notice that we put in.
Has to have a tentative rate
Yes.
that we can change,
Yes,
et cetera, et cetera. et cetera.
yes.
So I'm not sure we have to go through the full analysis of it at this point when we got the budget meetings.
Okay.
We just need to figure out what to put in the ad, and I would just put in what we had last year's. And I think historically what we've done is just put in last year's rate as the rate for purposes of the ad. Because any adjustment we make is gonna be pretty minimal compared to the actual rate, as I recall. Is that correct?
And, yeah, it's up to you unless you really reduce it. I mean, if you put it at actual, what it was last year, and then you come back and change it to the 11.44, there's $180,000 worth of.
But I mean, the actual rate is a pretty minimal change one way or the other. I mean, we're not gonna get to go to 30 cents. We're not gonna put 11 in and go to 30 because we don't have the authority to. We're talking about putting in 11.44, maybe going to, what was the
10.
cap? 10 what?
That is the cap.
10?
11.44 is the cap.
And what did we levy last year? 10.0? So you're talking about a penny and a half, less than a penny and a half.
Yeah, but equating it to dollars,
It's, a tiny percentage of our budget.
right, you're right, today we're just going.
$180,000 out of, what, 20 million that we were raising revenue, give or
in
take?
general fund. Yeah.
I'm inclined to put in the ceiling rate. Just at 1144 for GR and Road and Bridge.
I don't care what we advertise.
Just,
I don't know if it makes a difference if we put in last year's rate, current rate, whatever you call it, or the ceiling rate.
well, I think if you put in the ceiling rate and then you reduce it from that, at least you're going down. You're not putting in 10 and then you're going up. So,
I'm fine with that. Like I said, it doesn't matter to me what we put in there, and that makes sense that we're gonna.
I mean, it's such a minimal amount, but at the same time, I'd like to see us with material costs going up and our salaries being low as they are. I'd like to have some room to be able to give people raises and cover material costs. So,
But this is just advertising. When it comes down to the vote.
You can advertise in the paper whatever you want. I don't mean that in a bad sense. I mean, we can put whatever number we want in the paper. In the end, the vote that matters is the vote at the public hearing on whatever day we set it for. I don't know what day that was now.
27.
27th. That's the day that it actually matters. And, then we actually have that
Mhm.
debate.
sure.
So I don't care if we set it ceiling.
Yeah.
What is the ad?
Advertise it.
Let me
you
see
mean.
the ad. Just real quick.
That is supposedly by statute,
Why do
what
we even
has
have
to be shown.
Put a number in the ad. Why don't we just say we're gonna be setting it on such date, and you can come in. We'll have a public hearing that day.
by statute, I think you have to put down your.
Thank
Well, we
you.
just put the word ceiling there.
That's fine.
We
Good by
just
me.
put the word ceiling right there.
Okay.
Then it's not saying we're proposing that as a tax rate. It says that's the ceiling.
Just change the title to ceiling. Okay.
Otherwise, it looks, I mean, I'll be honest, if you put it in the other way, it looks like we are proposing to raise the tax when we have not voted on it or had a substantive discussion about doing it.
Unfortunately, that's what I've seen even the school districts, they put the whole thing in there from last year to this year.
I understand that, but I think the ceiling is appropriate language and it's accurate because we haven't made a decision.
All right.
You guys okay with that?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. I like it. Go with it.
You okay with that, Sam?
I think that's fine.
Hey, if not, we can change it next year.
And if you guys want to talk about this before the 27th, you just have to let me know.
Okay.
Okay.
When is it set for? 27th?
27th is the
I
public
think we
hearing.
just talk about it then.
Perfect.
Unless there's real, and if you
Yeah.
have questions in particular, you can talk to, and Sam, if you want to talk to Debbie about
Here,
it.
Sam, I'll give you this copy.
All right, discussion of workers' compensation for 2015.
Okay, I just wanted to bring it up. We talked last year. We were with Missouri Association of Counties, and then in 2008, we moved from them and we went to MEM.
And we
actually-
saved a huge amount of money,
Yeah, we saved over $70,000.
first year alone.
So I'm just here to ask, do you guys want to go out to bid for the upcoming 2015?
When's the last time we bid it?
2008. It's kind of, there's not very many entities that serve us. We're such a diverse group of workers' comp. We have all different kinds of categories. There's really only two agencies here that will serve us, is the way I understand, which is MEM and Missouri Association of Counties. So it's not a huge market, but, and the only thing we have to be worried about, I guess the NCI, when you go to a Missouri Association of County, they don't have to publish their mod, like MEM has to publish their mod. And sometimes when we start over, our mod right now is at .79. Sometimes when you start over, you have to start at a 1. And that's what we had to do going to MEM, and we still saved. But we'd probably lose our mod going to Missouri Association of Counties. I don't understand it all, but that's the way I've been told.
Your EMOD stays with you regardless of who you're with. I mean,
Supposedly Missouri Association of County don't
It's
publish
not-
emails.
They don't publish it. It stays with you.
Well,
They don't put it out
M-
publicly. They do it internally because the theory is it's a pool.
Right.
It's not a pool. It's actually insured through Arthur Gallagher or somebody
Yeah,
like
they're a
that.
third party.
NCCI is a separate company. It has nothing to do with MEM.
But what happens is so when you're an MEM reports to NCCI. That's how they come up with your.
Right. All insurance companies do.
MAC does not.
Oh, MAC does not.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you go to MAC, you have no EMOD because they don't report it. And they're not required to report it.
I see.
But we saved,
Right.
I mean, over the last 6 years, 5 years, no, 6 years, because we were in this year still. You know, we've saved probably $500,000, give or take, by going to MEM. Maybe a little less, but still, real money, it's nothing.
Well, I know, Jeff, after that MAC training, you had talked to somebody about it, and they actually had quoted, the MAC Trust had quoted something on work comp.
Yes, for this year,
Right.
yeah.
And it was cheaper than what MEM was.
Now, whether they had access to MEMs that we already had. in
Right,
place,
their loss.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't have any problem with bidding it. I think there's
Okay.
merit in bidding it once in a while. don't you?
Say, what's it gonna hurt?
Yeah. I mean, I think there's other companies out there that are interested too, so, I mean, I wouldn't mind bidding it. And keep in mind too, Debbie, that, you know, I like MEM because I do monthly reporting. It works well for me. There's nothing to say that because somebody's cheaper, that we have to go with them,
Yeah.
because they may not be the best for us, so.
And that's fine, we can bid it. I just didn't have very good luck with Gallagher Bassett, their third-party administrator, when I work with them. But we can bid it and we'll go from there. See what happens.
But
Okay.
you can bring that up and we get the bids. If it's, apples to apples and everything's the same, but you didn't have good luck with them last time, then that can be part of how we determine that.
So let's go out to bid.
So.
I think
Okay.
that's the conclusion here,
Yeah.
don't you guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Sam?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, next is art banners for law enforcement center.
Were they gonna come up and talk to us, or what are
Well,
we?
She was gonna be here, cause I was with her yesterday for an hour discussing things, but
Let's
they don't.
move it down the agenda and maybe come back to it if she
Will
shows
you
up.
call her and see if she's coming? Just step out and,
I don't know if I have her number on here, I think.
all right. That way if she can show up, we
No,
can
Lucia.
talk about it.
Okay.
Pricing agreement for natural gas.
Did you get that? Okay.
Yeah.
So Debbie and I met with Jeff Notch. Was that his name, Debbie? Jeff Noche or something like that.
His card is on
Yeah. Anyway, so we were with ProLiance, who was bought out by Constellation, and so things are going a little bit differently. But this is our natural gas supplier, and we did some hedging last year, and I think it saved us some substantial dollars. And anyway, so this is kind of just to kind of lock our price in, and I don't know. Did you have any of those prices per month? Any of that?
I don't know if it's in that.
Well, anyway, prices were based on decatherms, and then when you get into January, February, your harsh winter months, that price would jump up to $5.80, almost $6, and I think we were at $4.03 last year is what we ended up locking in, and then this is to lock in at $3.95 or thereabouts. It fluctuates a little bit, so we'd be down a little bit on our natural gas going forward this year. So
That's what y'all are recommending then?
yeah.
Well, I'm gonna defer to you all. Y'all have been the ones that are handling this. We saved money all last year and
So we get $3.95.
It's
for,
ki-
like in January for 1,114
Mm-hmm.
million BTUs.
Right, or decatherms is how this is. MMBTUs or decatherms is the same kind of figure, but
And then if it's over that, then we go to some market. We go straight market.
market price, yeah. So this is about 80% of our usage, so that way you're not. They have to buy so much through the pipeline, and so if it's a mild January or something and you're not using it, but this is 80% of what we actually used last year.
80% of last year, or 80% of an average we've used over a number of years.
Yeah, I think it's just last year.
Because we were only in this for about a year, so it was really hard to track and see how
Well,
much.
I thought Ameren broke out how much gas we
I think we did for the bid when we first went to them,
Okay.
but,
I just want,
Right. It's gonna
One year is
fluctuate.
is a really bad benchmark.
It
because
is.
If, last year was, I think, a relatively mild winter.
Right.
If we go back and we pick up 3 or 4 years,
Mm-hmm.
from a temperature perspective, last year was a mild winter. From a precipitation, that's irrelevant to this issue. Just from a temperature perspective.
Pretty cold.
We only had
Well, and even
like 3 days where it was even down in single digits.
even 2 years ago was pretty mild as well. So I mean, we haven't had some really
We had a
deep
tough
cold
one,
snaps,
I'm
but
good with it.
I mean, this is. I think it's going to save us money. I'd say we probably saved $15,000 to $20,000 last year, and of course we had to do those telemetry things, so we had some costs there. But going forward, we should be saving quite a bit of money.
I'm good with it.
Okay.
Yep.
him too. Thanks for doing that.
I like saving money.
I think it's a good deal.
Okay, I entertain a motion to approve the agreement for purchase of natural gas through Constellation. Can't read air.
Yeah, Constellation's good enough.
Okay, Constellation.
So moved.
Second.
We've got a new gas meter now for the EMS expansion. Do we need to consider that as well?
see, that is one of the buildings that we had one on.
Right.
Yeah, it's on.
You have a new meter?
Yes.
They put a new, yeah.
Is
They
the
ran a
telemetry
new
already
main,
there?
too. Should save some money on that.
They have a separate meter right next to the existing telemetry meter. We may
Well,
have to.
we need to look at that because
Yeah.
that would change these numbers.
Be added.
We'll have to
Yeah.
add that telemetry to the new meter they put in for our,
Well, that may be the same meter, because we already have one out there.
It's
No,
two meters.
No,
they
two
added
different
a
meters.
meter, and they may not take it because of usage too, because not all of our buildings are on it.
give it a
Well, I
try.
mean, that's why we had it on there, because there was usage in the back.
There was usage for, see, the gas is all one building.
Well, this,
Now they've got two meters.
these numbers should take into account all of your building, because it was on 1 meter before,
Correct.
right?
Right.
Yes.
So
Now they.
maybe we just need to add this meter, but it shouldn't change
Shouldn't
these.
change the numbers.
Yeah,
Okay.
it
It
shouldn't.
really help, because they ran a whole new main around this meter here for Mike's shop.
Okay,
Other than they just have to telemeterize. the-
right, they need to hook it up.
Just need to let them
Need to
know
hook
that.
it up.
Craig, can you work with them on that?
Yeah.
Who did that before?
We had to
Remember?
hire,
Did Gooch do that, or
No, it was,
no?
No, we hired somebody to come in and hook those meters up.
Okay.
I can go.
All right, not now.
and they might be able to jump right off them wires going over to it.
Just an FYI.
Okay.
All right, I entertain a motion to approve contract.
So moved.
installation.
So we already did that second.
No, I don't think we ever
Well,
did.
you did, but.
Okay.
It all got
Again.
interrupted. I don't know.
Okay,
All
that's
right.
good.
Call roll.
Okay, Jeff?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes, a roll call vote, contract's approved. Okay. With anything else on regular agenda in the next 3 minutes? Otherwise, I'm gonna jump into, budget hearings.
Please.
Going
Anything,
once,
anything but
going
budget.
For
twice.
the art
Anything.
thing?
Okay, Mike, you're up.
I'm
Can
here.
I explain to you where Mike's at? If you guys go back and go
Greg
under,
was gonna tell us something about the art thing.
go under the budget,
Okay.
go under commission's budget.
Oh, okay. Is that under each of our,
No, it's right above each of you. It's,
Commission budget,
yes. See
budget
it, Chris?
2014.
The second
I
one.
Yeah, I'm trying to get there here.
That last year.
Commission's budget, 2015.
Yes,
okay?
Does
Got
Sam
it.
have
Now
email
what?
now?
2015, yes.
County
If you
email?
go to the
Oh,
first one,
2015.
which
I
is
keep going
this.
backwards.
Okay, back more.
2015, you said?
There we go,
Yeah.
okay.
I got
I'll start including you in
I
the.
had commission budget shortcut.
Okay.
Back and forth.
Okay, you go to your, and then you go to the top one, which is the budget to the auditor.
Okay,
And then in there, we're gonna talk about the first one first, departments under the commission.
okay.
Okay, and there it is, EMS.
And then you can go down to EMS.
Oh, boy, a lot of stuff.
Yeah. I want to give you everything you need it right there. So, but if you go down to the Excel one,
Yep.
which is that
EMS
where you want to
Enterprise.
start, Mike?
Yeah, I sent a pretty lengthy email out. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to review that. Yea or nay? Okay.
Hit the high points, Mike.
Okay,
And he gave a copy of his, so I don't know.
I'm waiting on Sam here.
You can
Do
go.
need you, when Public Works gets here, because we do have to vote a contract. In fact,
That's
if you
all right.
see Eric Landwehr,
90% of leaders are all
Just
left-handed, you
come
know,
in.
Presidents of the United States.
and wave at me or something, we'll take it up right then so you can get it done, so you don't have to hang out the whole time.
Okay.
Left-handed is good. Show smart.
Okay, so go.
You said you sent out an email the other day, Mike?
Commission budgets to the auditor or from the auditor?
Well, I didn't send it to you, I sent it
Uh,
to you.
Okay.
Top one, yes.
My fault for not
And
including
then
you.
that one.
That's all right. I was gonna say, I just didn't get it, so
And then
no,
there's
you're good.
this, and then there's an Excel
Completely my
spreadsheet.
fault.
That's fine. No. Hey, you didn't want me to get it.
I was a shortcut to 2014, but not 2015.
Ain't 2014 anymore.
All right. Well, this is the format that the auditors gave us, where it gives us a little history of the amended budget, actual budgets, and then I've highlighted the department's request in yellow over to the side, and any explanation I could think of is in K. If they hadn't put, I put something.
Yep.
So I'll let Mike go ahead and start.
Do you want me to start right here?
You can just
Hit the
kinda
high
go over
points.
it.
Okay, I'm
Hit
gonna-
hit the high points, hit the changes.
I'm gonna hit the high points.
Things you see coming in the future that are problems
Yep.
or not. That's the stuff I would do.
Overtime line item is gonna be a problem for this year. I have a transfer request included in the email that I sent to Debbie.
And I fight overtime. Okay, got it.
Overtime was budgeted at 424.
Okay,
Correction,
425.
425. We, this year,
Just 24
if we
hours.
continue where we're at, it could be up to 55,000 over, so at about 475. And then with some other requests that I have in the budget for 2015 and beyond, I've bumped that up to 500,000. That is a large high point there. The second high point is a request to extend the deployment of the EMS QRV from the current 5 days, 8 hours a day, to 7 days, 12 hours a day. Going through the rest of the line items, maintenance, specifically repairs, we've reduced that line item significantly. That's down low.
What number, what line are you on?
Maintenance to vehicles or?
Yeah, repairs, 532996, and if I'm going too fast, please forgive me, Sam and everybody else.
It's 100. as
Okay.
far as-
Are we there? Where's-
46.
996.
Yeah, it's 46,000. It has been historically near the 6 digits.
That's what I was thinking.
And last year we budgeted 80,000. With some of the tweaks that we have done with Chris's input and help from Larry at Public Works, we've reduced the maintenance cost right now. Year to date, via June, we are at 30,000. And I don't see us much going over that whatsoever, so we've knocked it down substantially from the 80 to about 46,000.
That's awesome.
But you were at 115 back in 12,
Oh my
right?
gosh, yeah, we were 6 figures for 3 or 4 years.
Does that include in Public Works billing you for their time on some of that stuff?
I'm not exactly clear on how that works, and I'd have to defer to Debbie exactly
Okay.
how that works, but I'm assumptive that that is in there when they do a service and they invoice us. All of their respective costs are built into that.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah,
So
and I'm
they
not sure-
bill EMS and then that comes out of